A lot of people say younger women naturally prefer older men, and in many cases that's true. Experience, emotional control, wisdom, and stability give older men a real edge, an edge younger guys simply haven't earned yet. But here's the problem. Most older men have no idea how to use this advantage. I've seen men in their 40s, 50s, and beyond make the same mistakes over and over with younger women, and every time they sabotage themselves. They don't just lose attraction, they lose respect. And once respect is gone, you never even get the chance to show your real value. That's the real tragedy. Because older men already have everything they need. They just misuse it. The good news? You don't need to change who you are. You don't need to act younger, richer, or cooler. You just need to stop making these 7 mistakes. Let's get into it. You meet an attractive younger woman. She's confident, beautiful, maybe a little intimidating, and suddenly you panic. You think, I can't mess this up. She's out of my league. So you overcompensate. You become overly polite, overly agreeable, afraid to say the wrong thing. Your conversations become safe, filtered, boring. Here's the truth. Women don't fall for men who worship them. They fall for men who stand beside them as equals. When you idolize her, you place her above you. You project insecurity. And insecurity drains attraction fast. Think about it. When you put someone on a pedestal, you're automatically positioning yourself below them. Every compliment becomes desperate. Every agreement becomes approval-seeking. Every conversation becomes an audition for her validation. She feels this immediately, and it repels her. Women want a man who sees them clearly, their strengths and their flaws, their beauty and their humanity. When you worship her, you're not seeing the real her, you're seeing a fantasy, and she knows it. The fix is simple: normalize women. Talk to women of all ages without attaching your self-worth to the outcome. Practice having conversations where you're genuinely curious about her as a person, not desperate for her approval. Once you realize she's just human, flawed, imperfect, real, the pedestal disappears, and confidence replaces fear. You're not auditioning for her approval. Compatibility goes both ways. You're evaluating her just as much as she's evaluating you. This isn't about being cold or aloof. It's about being equal. About recognizing that your experience, your wisdom, your character, these things have value. You bring something to the table. You're not begging for scraps. Once you internalize that, you regain your power. How old are you? For many men, this question triggers panic. Their tone shifts. Their posture collapses, and suddenly the confident man disappears. Some men deflect, old enough to know better. Some apologize, yeah, I'm a bit older. Some get defensive, does it matter? All of these responses communicate the same thing: you think your age is a problem. And if you see it as a problem, she will too. Listen carefully, your age isn't the issue. Your mindset about your age is the issue. When you act insecure about your age, you frame it as a weakness. You're telling her, I don't think I'm good enough for you because of this number. But age is only a disadvantage if you make it one. Own it, say it calmly, say it confidently. I'm 47. That's it. No apology, no explanation, no shame. Or, if humor is natural for you, use it. Old enough to have stories worth telling, but only if it's genuine, not a nervous deflection. The key is this: no apology, no explanation, no shame. Confidence turns age into an advantage. It signals experience, stability, emotional maturity. All things younger women find attractive in older men. Hesitation turns age into a liability. It signals insecurity, shame, weakness, all things that kill attraction instantly. Your age gives you advantages younger men don't have. You've lived, you've learned. You've developed emotional control and wisdom. These are assets, not liabilities, but only if you believe it first. The woman across from you is taking her cue from you. If you're confident about your age, she'll see it as a positive. If you're insecure, she'll see it as a red flag. Too many older men believe money is their main attraction, so they brag about careers, cars, trips, and status. Some even try to buy interest with expensive dates and gifts. That doesn't create attraction, it creates transactions. When you lead with money, you reduce yourself to a resource. You become a wallet with a pulse. And you attract women who want access, not connection. Think about what you're communicating when you lead with wealth. My value is my money. Without it, I'm not interesting. That's not masculine confidence. That's insecurity dressed up in expensive clothes. Here's the reality. If a younger woman is genuinely attracted to you, it's because of your presence, your confidence, your character. Your financial success might be nice, but it's not what makes her feel attraction. Money should support who you are, not replace it. Let success show naturally over time. Don't hide it, but don't lead with it either. Your car, your home, your lifestyle, these things will become apparent as she gets to know you. Be the kind of man who's interesting to talk to. who has depth, who makes her feel something when you're together, who challenges her, engages her, creates tension and chemistry. That's what creates attraction. Money can enhance a relationship, but it can't create one. And when you lead with it, you're telling her that you don't trust your own character to be enough. That lack of self-belief is what repels her, not your bank account. Be a man who happens to have money, not money that happens to have a man attached to it. Many older men try to impress younger women by teaching, giving advice, offering guidance, sharing life lessons. On the surface, it seems smart. You have experience, you have wisdom, why not share it? Here's why: if you position yourself as a teacher, you kill chemistry. When you're constantly in mentor mode, explaining things, correcting her, offering unsolicited advice, you create a parent-child dynamic, not a man-woman dynamic. And when you finally try to make a move, it feels awkward and forced, because you spent weeks or months establishing yourself as her life coach, not her romantic interest. Women don't fantasize about their mentors. They respect them, sure. But respect without attraction is friendship at best. Set the tone early: light teasing, playfulness, flirtation. Yes, wisdom matters. Yes, your experience is valuable, but attraction needs polarity. It needs sexual tension. It needs the push and pull of masculine and feminine energy. You can be wise and playful. You can be experienced and flirtatious. These things aren't mutually exclusive. But if every interaction is you teaching and her learning, you've put yourself in the wrong category in her mind. Don't be her father figure. Don't be her life coach. Be a man who intrigues her, who challenges her, who creates chemistry. Save the deep wisdom for when she asks. When she's genuinely curious about your perspective, that's when it lands powerfully. But leading with it? That's not attraction. That's a TED Talk. And women don't date their professors. Forced slang, trendy clothes that don't fit your frame or personality, acting like someone you're not. It never works. When you try to look younger, you're communicating something very clear. I'm ashamed of my age. I don't think who I am is enough. That insecurity is what repels women, not your actual age. Think about it. When you see an older man in skinny jeans and a Supreme hoodie using TikTok slang, what do you think? You think he's trying too hard. You think he's insecure. Women think the same thing. Trying to look younger signals that you don't value your own experience, that you think youth is superior, that you're ashamed of who you are. Confidence comes from embracing your age, not fighting it. Dress sharp, groom well, stay healthy, speak authentically. Your experience is the advantage. Don't erase it by trying to be someone you're not. Age appropriate doesn't mean boring. It means authentic. It means you know who you are and you're comfortable with it. A well-fitted Henley and dark jeans on a confident 50-year-old man is far more attractive than that same man in streetwear he doesn't understand. Quality over trends, classic over trendy, authentic over forced. Your style should reflect your character and your life stage, not what 25-year-olds are wearing on Instagram. When you embrace your age and present yourself with intention and confidence, that's when younger women take notice. Not because you look young, but because you look like a man who knows exactly who he is. Older men often turn conversations into resumes, career wins, credentials, past successes, awards, accomplishments. Stories that all center on one theme: look how impressive I am. But here's what you need to understand. Attraction isn't built on accomplishments, it's built on connection. When you constantly talk about your achievements, you're not connecting, you're performing, you're proving. You're seeking validation, and women can feel the difference. Connection happens when you're present, when you're curious about her, when you're listening more than talking, when you're creating a moment together, not reciting your biography. Let achievements come up naturally. If she asks about your work, answer genuinely. If career success is relevant to the conversation, mention it, but don't make it the focus. Focus on her. Listen. Be present. Ask questions that show you're interested in who she is, not just waiting for your turn to talk about yourself. A confident man doesn't need to prove his value. His energy communicates it. Think about the men you respect most. Do they constantly tell you how impressive they are? Or do you just feel their presence and naturally respect them? The same principle applies in attraction. Your achievements matter. But they should be discovered, not advertised. They should enhance the attraction that already exists, not create it from scratch. Be more interested than interesting. Be more curious than impressive. That's how connection forms. And connection is what leads to attraction. Experience alone isn't enough. How you present yourself matters. You don't need to look young. You need to look sharp, disciplined, self-respecting, grooming, fitted clothing, basic fitness. These things signal strength and confidence. Let me be clear, I'm not talking about becoming a bodybuilder or obsessing over your appearance. I'm talking about basic self-respect. Are you grooming intentionally, hair trimmed, facial hair maintained, nails clean, skin cared for? Are your clothes fitted, not tight, not baggy, fitted? Clothes that complement your body and reflect effort. Are you maintaining basic fitness? You don't need six-pack abs, but you should look like you take care of yourself, like you have discipline and self-respect. When you neglect these things, you're communicating, "I've given up. I don't think I'm worth the effort." And if you don't think you're worth the effort, why should she? Physical presence isn't about being the most attractive man in the room. It's about showing that you respect yourself enough to put in effort. Women notice details. They notice if your clothes fit, if you smell good, if you look like you take care of yourself. These things aren't superficial. They're signals, signals of discipline, self-respect, and confidence. When you invest in yourself, others feel it, not just younger women. Everyone around you responds differently to a man who clearly values himself. This isn't vanity, this is self-respect, and self-respect is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have. At the core of all these mistakes is one issue: not fully owning who you are. You put her on a pedestal because you don't believe you're enough. You're insecure about your age because you haven't embraced your value. You lead with money because you don't trust your character. You mentor because you're afraid to create chemistry. You try to look young because you're ashamed of being older. You talk about achievements because you need external validation. You neglect yourself because you've stopped believing you're worth the effort. All of it comes back to the same root: not owning yourself. Younger women aren't looking for perfection. They're drawn to confidence, authenticity, and grounded masculinity. Stop apologizing, stop proving, start owning yourself. That's not just how attraction changes. That's how your entire life changes. Your age is an advantage. Your experience is an advantage. Your emotional control is an advantage, but only if you believe it first, only if you own it completely. Stop making these mistakes. Start owning who you are. Drop a comment which mistake hit hardest. And if you know an older man who needs to hear this, share it with him. Sometimes one truth can shift everything. Subscribe for more raw insights on masculine power and attraction. I'll see you next time.